Hey guys, welcome to a new series where you learn chess with David. I'm going to be teaching the very basics of chess, to all the way to tactics and stuff to look out for. And by the end of the series, you should hopefully understand how to play chess at least at my level, which is I'm soon striving to be a grandmaster. So I'll get there eventually, and I'll be up for playing chess at any point, if you challenge me to a game. So basically, I'm planning to release a new episode in the series covering different parts of chess every Saturday. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll do my best to answer them. I think chess can be a lot of fun when you understand how to play. So for the first episode, I'm going to be talking about how the kings always have to be in the board because how you lose the game is when your king is under attack and you can't do anything to prevent it. I'm also going to be talking about how the pawns move and attack, and what you can do with the pawns. So for example, here the king's on the board, um, and at the moment White's king has nowhere to go because the queen's covering and attacking the king, and the reason why the king can defend itself, but the reason why it can't capture the queen at the moment is because the queen's being defended by the rook at the back. So the point is, if the king tries to capture it, it's still under attack by the rook, which is why it's an illegal move to try and capture the queen in this position for white. And it's a lost position because every time the king's under attack, you have to do something about it. So as shown in the position before, this is what's referred to as a checkmate, when someone has won the game by attacking the king and the other person can't stop it. So when the king is under attack, it's referred to as check, and there's 3 different ways you can protect the king. So in a position like this, the king is under attack, but the king can move in a basically 1 square at a time, and as you can see with the dots highlighted here, it can't move to any of these squares because kings can't be next to each other, and black's king is covering these 3 squares here, although the white king can't even move there. And then the queen's covering this entire column here, so the king has nowhere to move up here, so it can move to here, to here, to here, to here, and then it's out of check. So that's one way to deal with the check. So in this current position, white can block the attack with the rook. So a second way to deal with check is if you have a piece that can move in to block the attack of the opponent's piece. So in this case, you can move the rook to cover the attack of the queen. I'm going to be covering as we get further into the episodes how the other pieces move, but for this episode I'll be covering how the pawns move. So in this position there's a third scenario where white can deal with the attack on the king, which is to take out the attacking piece. So in this case, the black's queen's attacking, but the white's bishop is looking at the square that is of where the attack's coming from, so white can capture the attacking piece to deal with the check. So on the topic of checkmate, I thought I'd also cover what's known as a stalemate. So in this position, it's white's turn to move, but because the queen's covering all the available squares that the king can move to, and white only has the king to move, white can't actually do anything, and so it's a draw. And because white's king is not under attack, that's why it's referred to as a draw. Because if it was under attack, then it would be referred to checkmate, like as in the position showed before. I'm not sure if I've explained this very clearly, but feel free to leave a comment if there's anything that you don't understand. So at the start of any given chess game, this is what the position should look like, and white's always moves first. So as I said, I was going to be covering the pawns. So there's 8 pawns white can move, and generally what you want to do is control these 4 squares in the center, and basically if you can control the center, it helps you to have more options for what you can do. So that's why generally people move the central pawns first, and if the pawns are on the starting square at any point usually, unless there's a piece blocking it, you can move it 2 spaces forward. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with d4, one of the starting moves I'd like to do, moving it 2 spaces from d2 to d4, and the computer decided to bring up the knight early on. So I'll be covering how the knights move in the next episode, so it might seem a bit confusing now, but yeah. So that's, and then from here onwards, I mean, this isn't particularly a great move in this position, but how the pawns move is always forward, and then they can capture and attack diagonally 1 square. So I'm just going to move my pawn forward just to show that it can't move 2 spaces again because it's not on the starting square. And black responds by moving their pawn 1 space forward, which means that the pawn is now attacking if I don't do something about it. And so I'm going to go ahead and show what it looks like to capture, and then black recaptures, like so. So there's 2 more things that I want to cover about the pawns, and in this scenario it's going to be quite rare where you'll be able to play a move called en passant, and it took me a while to figure out myself, like over the years I've played, and a lot of people might say that it's a legal move or something, but it's actually a legal move. It's just very rare when the situation happens. So basically, in this position, if black moves either of these 2 pawns 2 spaces forward, white can then capture it like this, and that's the move referred to as en passant. It's basically the idea of preventing black just ignoring the threat of this pawn that's moving forward. So why the pawns matter to a certain extent, or why they can be quite significant, is if they manage to get far enough down the board. So in this position it's white to play. If you can move it to the end of the column, you can promote it to a queen, a knight, a rook, or bishop, and the queen's like the strongest piece. And again, I'll cover why the queen is such a valuable piece and how the other pieces move in the later episodes. But basically, what you want to know is, for now, is that the queen is a very powerful piece. So if you can get a pawn to the end, you can promote it to a queen, and then in this case it's even checkmate, because of the queen being able to cover such an attack. So I thought I'd just give you guys a custom position to work with. So if you guys head over to chess.com, go to Learn and then Analysis. In this position here, it shows that it's completely winning for white. And so if you go to where it says set up position and paste in the code that I'm going to put in the description, it will basically get this position with white to move. So if you click load, you can basically even practice against the computer, and I put the computer on hardest difficulty. That's why it's always a challenge for me. But you can change the difficulty after clicking here. So have a go at trying to win. I'm just going to have a quick run through to see how I do. I don't know if that's okay. It told me that's a mistake, and now it's to draw. Okay, so that's what. There you go. That's what's not to do. I just thought I'd try it without really thinking. Always make sure you think before you play any random move like I just did, because it might end up being a draw or even a loss if you don't think about what you're going to do before you do it. Let me know if you have any comments on the questions, but feel free to try this position and win for white. Yeah, this is the end of episode 1, I guess. I'll see you guys next Saturday for episode 2, when I'll be covering how the knights move.